See if it works. Yeah, it's working. Play ad. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. It's working. I guess I'm live, guys. It's working, no? Hey, traders, how are you doing? Pylon in here. Pylon in here. Hope all is well here. Guys, I'm still doing some test here, trying to find out what my best setup is going to be. I hope I'm coming through okay. I hope the image is clear. I hope the sound is okay. But I appreciate you popping in here. I noticed that this form doesn't give me any warning or anything like that. But I hope everything's okay. I hope you can see me. I hope the image is coming through okay. It's good. How's the sound? Sound and image okay? Cool. Awesome. Awesome. Guys, I actually just posted a poll on my YouTube channel here, and I just want to know what I'm thinking about doing is actually dedicating one of the days to trading live here. You know, I do this every day on my Periscope channel for the most part, but I want to dedicate at least one day here on this channel, and I'm thinking about doing that Friday. And the reason why Friday is a very important day is because that day will give me the ability also, after a little trading session live, for us to talk about the trades, talk about your trading, talk about the week, talk about what things you're going through as traders and things like that. Any other day would be a little more challenging because I typically have basically my whole day stacked with different groups of my traders for training and meetings and so forth and so on. To me, that's not work whenever it's connected with trading and my traders and my babies and things of that nature. But those other days are a lot more difficult. And Friday would be the best day for us to do that. So you let me know through the poll that I just released whether or not you feel that that would be a good idea for the channel. But how are you guys doing? Mexico is in the house. Paraguay. We will also look toward seeing how we do these sessions simultaneously in Inglés y en Español también. So we'll have to figure that out. So we're still figuring out some things right now, just so you know. So, but listen, some really phenomenal, exciting things on the horizon, guys. This is what really, this is what really gets my juices flowing. This is what I love, you know. The business side of trading is cool, but I love this. I love spending time with you. I love putting out content that helps you. I love reading your comments where, you know, for whatever reason, a lot of traders are saying, Oliver, your last video was the very best video you've ever done. Like, I don't know if that's true, but wow. All right. So the video I uploaded last night is quickly it's getting the reputation of being the very best I've ever done. That's amazing. I'll take it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I'll take it. I do know it's up there, though. That's for sure. I do know that. So that's pretty cool. Another cool thing, I had a pretty decent trading day in the markets here today. That's cool. Finished the day up $11,453. Not bad. What I've been doing a lot lately, guys, is trading, showing you The days where I trade a little bit beyond the open, spot check the market into lunchtime. Sometimes during lunchtime, I'll have my laptop or my iPad setting to the side of me during lunch. And if I spot an opportunity, boom, I'll take it. You know, the average trade lasts about 8 minutes. So, you know, this is one of the reasons why I tell traders that when you reach a certain level of mastery, you should be able to be richer or wealthier or have more money than you had before every 8 minutes. That should be the state. So when people say, Oliver, what do you actually mean by mastery? Is when you can be richer every 8 minutes of your trading life. That is trading mastery to me. That every 8 minutes you have more. Do you understand? And if you have to be searching the markets for 4 hours, 5 hours for an opportunity, then okay, it's better than nothing, but you're certainly not anywhere near mastery. A master can sit down and in minutes find an opportunity and have seized it for profitability. So anyway, guys, traded two things primarily back and forth, Microsoft being the main thing today. And guys, you'll notice that when I trade, like the lower in price I go, the heavier I will trade. And that has to do with just basic volatility versus size, the volatility versus size ratio that I just naturally apply in the markets through experience, where, you know, the higher I go, the smaller I'll play in size quite naturally, because the assumption is that it's more volatile. Higher volatility means less shares, more money, but less shares. And lower volatility means smaller profitability, but bigger shares to compensate for that. So when something can swing pretty wildly on you, you don't need a lot of money to do well with it, so you play it smaller. Plus, when you're wrong, you lose smaller. When you are going lower in price, the volatility shrinks, which means the opportunity to have a big score shrinks, which means to compensate for that, you have to go up in size. All right? So it's just a volatility to size ratio. And so, you know, I played Microsoft pretty heavily today. It's a much lower price than my main trading stock, which is Apple. You know, and we nailed it pretty nicely. My last trade was live on Periscope just a little while ago, before I came live here on the YouTube channel here. But anyway, guys, looking forward to starting up these Fridays where I will not go on the other platform on Friday and start to come on this platform, so that if you want to see every day, you're going to have to obviously participate on both. So I'm going to start taking a day away from Periscope and bringing it to this format where I can show you my chart, show you the trades live, show you what I'm doing, while I'm doing it, why I'm doing it, when I'm going in, when I'm coming out, why I'm going in, why I'm coming out. And the goal is to really sort of place you in my own footsteps, almost in every single thought, every single concept, every single idea that's going through, to have you almost live it and gain the experience through osmosis. And so that over time, a lot of the things you'll start to see are repetitive, and they start to becoming naturally yours. And when they're yours, they can start producing for you. You know, one of the mistakes that you can make as a trader is to believe that you can make money off of a theory. Because when I teach you something, initially it is a theory, it is a concept. That theory and concept can't produce for you until you have experiential knowledge with it. You turn it from a concept into experiential knowledge. And you can only do that by grappling with it, by falling with it, by tripping with it, by running with it, by sprinting with it, by struggling with it, by succeeding with it. And through time, you make it no longer a concept from Oliver, you make it yours. When it's yours, that's when it can start producing for you. That's when the tool, the tactic, the technique starts to become handy. You can place the very best chef's knives in the hands of someone who has absolutely no idea about cooking and being a chef. They're not going to do any good. You can buy the best carpentry tools, give them to an 8-year-old kid who doesn't know anything about carpentry, and he'll probably hurt himself. All right? You can give the best trading tactics to a novice who has no concept of proper market play, no experience. They're going to lose their fortune if they even have one. So, you know, it's not the tool that makes the trader. It's not the tactic or concept that makes the trader. It's the trader that makes the concept. Now, if you combine a good trader with a good tactic, wow. A good trader with a good concept, a good technique, wow. A good carpenter with the best tools, wow. A good carpenter with terrible tools, okay. But a good carpenter with the best tools, wow. So it's always at the end of the day about you. People feel that they can come into this industry, right, and buy instant success, as if, you know what, I want my kid to be Michael Jordan. I'm going to send him to the best basketball camp I can find, and at the end of the camp, he's Michael Jordan. No, it doesn't work that way, you know, and it doesn't work that way in trading. We understand it when we apply this to every other ordinary scenario in life. But when it comes to trading, somehow it's almost like there's this idea that it's supposed to be casino-like. I either am good at it or I'm not. I either pull the lever and I win or I don't. It doesn't work that way. But what else in life does work that way? You know? So anyway, guys, I'm excited about the future of the channel, what we're going to be doing here. I've been a tiny bit inconsistent. I know with the schedule, I've been sick over the last couple of days or whatever, but that will start to even out as I begin to reorganize things and get my whole team wrapping their minds around the fact that now this is the most important thing to me in the year 2018, my YouTube channel. I can't make everything the most important thing to me every year, but 2018, the last 3 quarters of the year, I vowed to myself that this is going to be the most important thing. So listen, I want you to encourage me. I want every video I put out, if you like it, guys, get in the habit of hitting the like button. So many of you watch these things and you just pass it by. I'm even at fault for that. So I try to keep reminding myself, if I like a video, I got to like it, because that's what I want from my subscribers. All right. So try to get yourself in a habit. That's very encouraging to content producers. All right. I don't ask you for anything. I don't ask you for money. I don't put the little Patreon thing on there, which I may do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to do that. All right. I think Patreon is an amazing thing. And it's Patreon. I don't know if you understand what Patreon is, guys, but Patreon was created by this very ingenious guy who gave a way for content creators on YouTube and other platforms to get paid by their loyal subscribers. And it's not that you have to. It's not like the content is for charge. It's like, if you are really touched and moved by this, drop me $1, drop me $5. Now, I'm not really interested in your $1 or $5, but I'm not saying that is not going to come. Maybe that comes and helps me do some really, really amazing things for the channel. But right now, I'm not interested in that. So I don't ask you for that. I don't put a Patreon thing and ask you for $1 or $5 if you're moved. But I do ask you for likes. I do ask you for your comments and your shares. Those are the 3 things that matter to me. All right. And you can give me a comment if you didn't like what I put out there. Put the comment out there. No problem. If you don't like it, hit the down like button. Hit the down button. I wish you could do it multiple times. I don't care. Just do something. Hit one of them and tell me something. It matters to me. All right. So let me get back to. Shoot, I'm not even looking at your comments here. You're a master trader already. Awesome, Senna. Well, welcome to the top. All right. It's pretty lonely up here, isn't it, Senna? All right. Mastery is lonely. That's why people say, Oliver, why do you give so many things for free? I said, because it's lonely at the top. Oliver, when Bitcoin? I don't know. Listen, let me give you a little something about Bitcoin, right? I respect the whole model. I think it's freaking ingenious. It's not the most original thing on the planet, but it is sort of original, but it's not the most original thing on the planet. There have been multiple attempts at something like a Bitcoin or an alternative currency model to the old and somewhat antiquated fiat monetary system, right? Which is, for those of you who do not know what a fiat monetary system is, it is the system that primarily the United States made popular throughout the world and was so successful with that the entire world has basically taken on the fiat system, when many of them rebelled against the fiat system when America started to make it popular. But America made popular this concept of coming off of a standard that has your monetary system backed by something real and tangible. So predominantly in the past, the dollar, the greenback in the United States, was backed by an actual physical amount of gold, so that your dollar was an actual promissory note that you could walk into any bank theoretically and actually exchange the promissory note for the piece of gold at any time on demand. Well, later on throughout the years, governmental officials and things of that nature found out that perhaps if we detached the paper dollar from actually being equal to a physical amount of gold, we can print more. And if we don't go get out of hand, this can still work. Well, of course, it did work. And then it worked so well that and say, okay, we originally decided that we would only print 10% more than the gold we had on hand, but it's working so well. Let's see if we can print 20% more than the gold on hand. So there's 20% more dollars out there than gold that backs the value. And then that worked. And then 50% worked. Then 100% worked. Then thousands of percent worked, until all of a sudden it's like, why are we even on this system where something has to back the dollar? America is so strong and so powerful that no one needs to now know if there is a physical piece of gold to back the dollar. Everyone accepts the exchange without ever verifying if gold is ever there. So we're going to throw the system out of the window. And the throwing the system out of the window is what created the fiat currency system. So that now the only thing that controls inflation are politicians. And we know how trustworthy they are. Yes? Okay. So you get the whole fiat concept of currency. But America became such a powerhouse with this system that it was hard for other countries to deny the ultimate world dominating type of success that America had with this system. So everyone started caving in and doing their own fiat system, so that now virtually every governmental system throughout the world is on fiat. Enter Bitcoin, that says, forget this fiat thing. Forget the control by the worldwide banks and the governments and the politicians. We are in control of our own currency, and it is an international currency. Boom. Love it. Love it. But it is such a premature market right now that it's almost not a market still. It is a casino. And the only way you're going to judge whether Bitcoin, the only way you're going to be able to determine if Bitcoin becomes a mature enough market to really play, other than take a wild bet with money that you don't care about losing. I'm okay playing the Bitcoin market like that, playing it like going to Vegas, but you cannot play it the way you play other more established markets. You have to be willing to lose everything. Now, the reason is because businesses can't rely on it. And that is the key point that makes Bitcoin still a casino and not a real market. And I'm not into playing casinos. I don't even play the casinos when I go to Las Vegas. I do the shows, the restaurants, and the nightclubs. But I don't play the casinos. I'm not into helping them build billion-dollar edifices. I'm into visiting them, but I'm not going to contribute in the slot machines or on the crap machines helping you build a $10 billion edifice here. I'll go to a show, I'll pay for a nice hotel in them, but I'm not going to contribute the way of throwing my money away like that. I'm going to get something of value from it, like a show or a nice meal or a nice room. So I'm not into the gambling thing. I have a gig, it's called trading. It has been paying me for 31 years. I don't need the gambling thing. So what do I mean by Bitcoin not being a market that businesses can rely on? So let me just quickly explain this to you, because I think this message needs to really get out there to my traders at least. If I have a course, a trading course that's coming up in June, and I do June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Medellin, Colombia. It's called the Live Trading Camp, which is primarily the Trade the Open Like a Boss event for Latin America, right? I'm going to have 500, maybe, no, I think I'm going to have I think we capped it this year, 200 traders in this event, right? Capped off at 200 traders. And check this out. If I were to accept Bitcoin, which some people have asked me to do, if I accept Bitcoin as payment today, all right, and June is a month and a week or so away, all right, the market is so volatile that I can't make intelligent business decisions by taking Bitcoin right now, because I don't know what the value is going to be, or I don't know relatively the range of the value Bitcoin's going to be a month and a week from now. So imagine a business that is operating off of an 8% profit spread on something. So they accept Bitcoin, and the next 2 days it's down 15%, and they have lost 15% of the value. So now that business exchange, before they even delivered the product to you, which takes a 10-day delivery, in 2 days the value that they accepted is 10% less. Like, you can't conduct business that way. So as invaluable as the idea of Bitcoin is, it is not ready to be a real market. It is still a casino where you blow your breath on the dice and you roll it. And it is only when it can become a reliable mechanism for businesses throughout the world, like my business and your businesses, that it will stop being a casino. Do you follow what I'm saying here? So play it like a casino. I go to the Bitcoin casino, roll the dice at times, but be willing, only play with money that you would go to Las Vegas with. You understand? You can't, it's not a market ready for prime time. It's not a market ready for prime time business. I know some businesses have tried it, but it's a freaking disaster. That's why then most of them are not trying it anymore. All right? So, yes, I love it, but let's put it into the category that it is. It's a casino. Play it like you're going to Vegas. Don't play it like, oh my God, this is my life and I'm going to bank my children's college funds on it. No, don't do that nonsense. Not yet. Maybe in the future, but it's not here yet. You understand? Yeah, well, you can trade the ETFs and so forth and so on like that. Guys, I will tell you another thing, why I'm not a very big ETF trader. And this might be really interesting to you, because I know a lot of you are interested in the ETFs. Like, the ETFs allow you to take advantage of things like oil. And I'm not saying I don't play the ETFs. I'm just saying I'm not a very, very big player of ETFs, electronic trading funds. And it's because the ETFs take out the most important element of trading for me, the psychology. The human psychology behind trading is what allows me my edge as a trader. Do you understand this? Do you know that my edge comes from the interaction between fear and greed. So when you put two groups of players, buyers and sellers together, both operating off two emotions, the buyers are greedy, the sellers are fearful on average, right? When you put these two things together, inefficiency is the rule of the day, because fear will go too far, further than it needs to at times, and greed will go further than it needs to sometimes. And this inefficiency is what creates gaps, holes, opportunities for me. When I say Microsoft in my last video here has gone too far, the greed has gone too far. Now I'm going to take advantage of this brief anomaly, this brief imbalance between fear and greed. Okay, my last video points this out of when to do that, how to do that. Watch it if you haven't watched it. How to trade against the trend. All right, so, but ETFs take that away from us. Do you know why? Because it's not necessarily the buying and selling of traders that moves an ETF. It's the collective items that the ETF is based on. So if you take an oil ETF that's made up of 10 oil companies or 100 oil companies, if the vast majority of the 100 oil companies are going up, the ETF goes up. If the vast majority of the basket of oil companies are going down, the ETF goes down. But I can't judge that, wow, look at all these traders buying the ETF. That doesn't mean anything. You can have the world buy the ETF, but the ETF won't go up if the vast majority of the basket that the ETF is based on is going down. So I take the whole human psychology of fear and greed out of ETF trading. Like, my whole edge is gone, right? So I don't trade ETFs. I use ETFs for more wealth plays, longer term plays, where I have a wealth theme on something, like gold is going, excuse me, in my opinion, to start over the next 18 months. So I'll use an ETF strategy for that is not necessarily based on short-term fear and greed activity. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Still getting over this cold here. But do you follow what I'm saying? Does that make sense a little bit? Guys, where do you get this level of market education from? Who talks to you like this? Who takes you deep inside the market like this? I don't know. Maybe other people do. I don't know who they are. Yeah. Well, the futures are a little bit different. The futures actually are a combination of both. Somebody's asking, Oliver, what about the S&P futures? Yes, some try to copy me. I know that, Lester. But so like the S&P 500 futures, for example, it has elements of ETF trading and elements of individual stock trading that has your fear and greed elements interacting, right? Because it's based on both. You see, when you're trading a stock, people are trying to bet on the future. Some people are trying to bet on the immediate future, like the next several days. Some people are trying to bet on the next several minutes. Some people are trying to bet on the next several years. And some people are trying to bet on the next several decades. But it's all, you don't buy a stock to sell it, right? You don't buy a stock now to sell it now. So you are always betting on the future. So so that's what creates the fear and greed, the fear that my vision of the future is not going to happen, or the greed that my vision of the future is happening. I should do it more. So the futures has that element. You're betting on the future direction of the S&P 500. So it has some of the element, but also it has the element of what's the basket of the S&P 500 doing? So that's the ETF element. So futures combine the ETF element and the individual stock element, the fear and the greed element. So it's an interesting item. The only thing I don't like about futures is the extraordinarily high leverage that it offers regular novice traders. And this was not always the case. You were not able to trade futures as a novice in the past. But as markets became more prolific and as individuals started to flood the market as participants, dollar signs started to pop up into the eyes of firm owners or what have you, and they relaxed the standards. And now novices can take leverage and go into the market. Like novices are opening up $500 futures accounts. Like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, what planet do you live on to think that you are going to take $500 and step into my world and push me around? Like, what makes you think you're going to take your little toothpick of an account and come into a world where I have millions of dollars, tens of millions, and allow you to take food off of my table? It just doesn't even make sense. It's like saying, listen, I'm going to take my $500 and start a professional football team and go up against the billion-dollar football teams and see if I can win a championship. What? Like, dude, what are you going to do? Listen, the last thing you want to do in this game is show up to a gunfight with a knife. I promise you, you're going to lose every single time. But some traders are out here showing up to a gunfight with a toothpick. And like, dude, if you didn't have a chance with a knife, a toothpick, you're just going to get totally destroyed every single time. Don't let anybody fool you. It takes money to make money in this world. And anybody who's going to sell you the idea that you don't need a lot of money to make money is really just basing their business model on masses. Do you understand? Because they know that more masses have $500 than have $50,000. So therefore, I will have more people joining my message, because if I say the real message, I'm going to have a little bit of people. Please don't. Listen, you're part of my world now. I'm going to protect you from that nonsense. Right? The idea that you can step into the tall wheat and piss with the big dogs and leave unscathed? Come on. Do you follow what I'm saying? Am I being too like animated here? I get passionate about these things, you know? Good seeing you again too, Vixen FX. Good seeing you guys again. Yeah. What is my opinion about Day Trading Academy? Are you talking about the online Day Trading Academy, like OTA? Verify that for me. Oh, man. I love this, guys. Listen, after 31 years, I still wake up every single morning. I never miss a morning. Lester, OTA? Well, I'll tell you a very interesting history about OTA. Okay? And then I'm going to let you go because I've got to go. I've got a cigar waiting for me, guys. But check this out because I'm feeling a little bit better now. How many people here are familiar with OTA or Online Trading Academy? I'll tell you a quick story. All right. I just want to know how many people are familiar with it, whether it's worth it for me to go through this story or not. I know the reply did not come from the start. I was still waiting for, DTA, Colombia. Okay. I don't know them. I think it's, I have heard of DTA. All right. I've heard of DTA, but I don't know them. I think the owner of DTA did reach out to me at one particular point from Colombia and wanted to sit down. Is that the one that's owned by the Marcelo guy, the guy with the ponytail and travels a lot? It's really like more of a travel agency with a facade of a trading company. Is that what we're talking about? T3 Live got great stories about them as well. Guys, the original owners of T3 were my trading students. Many years ago, they came to my office in White Plains, New York, and went through live training with me, and very talented group of guys over at T3. Great guys, Mark and the crew. And at one particular point, was thinking about joining my organization. They wanted to do something together or what have you. And I gave them a lot of advice on setting up their operation. If we weren't going to do it together, setting up their own operation or what have you. And there you go, T3. T3 is the name that comes from my company's original tag phrase or company tag phrase, which was training, trading, and technology. So my original company, Pristine, was Pristine Day Trader, TTT, training, trading, technology. And they shortened it to T3. And I always joke with them about it, like, dude, where are my royalties? You stole my company's tagline? What's up with this? But guys, I've been in the industry a long time. There's virtually no one serious that I don't know or that has not come through one of my organizations, one of my training programs, or what have you. I've been at this 31 years. There's not a lot of people out here who've done that. I've helped to build this industry brick by brick. I have been virtually one of the first traders on virtually every ECN out there, including Archipelago Exchange, which is now the New York frickin' Stock Exchange. I've been around a long time and are connected to a lot of people, a lot of real people in this industry, and I'm very proud of that, very proud of that. Forex, I like it. I believe that if Forex was a market that was available to me when I first started trading, that it would be my market of choice because, you see, Forex was never available to the individual. Forex was a market that was primarily just dominated and operated by banks, and the individuals did not have access to the Forex market. It still remains the biggest market in the world. It's the most liquid market in the world, and it's probably one of the slowest markets in the world. Currencies don't move very much. The false sense that the Forex market is volatile is false. It is falsified or created to be so by leverage. But that is why instead of pennies, your item moves in pips, which is a fraction of a penny. So you're talking about one of the least volatile markets in the world, which is why the leverage is allowed to be so big. When volatility is small, leverage can be bigger. When volatility is great, leverage has to be smaller. But here's the problem I have with leverage, guys. This is why I don't like Bitcoin markets that allow individuals, novices, to have big leverage, in the futures market that allow novices to have big leverage, in the Forex market that allows you to open up an account with $500 and control a lot of contracts. It's ridiculous. Let me tell you why. Let's say you opened up a coffee shop and you had a very unique take on the coffee shop. It's going to be a trading coffee shop. And so in your coffee shop, you have ticker tapes running around the wall, and you've got nice, beautiful television sets beaming CNBC and Bloomberg television. And everything is stock market or trader oriented theme, from the art on the wall and the sayings by famous traders, and the books on the little tables are famous classic books. Hopefully one of my books is there. And you create this coffee shop traders theme, and traders, you start to have success with it. Traders from all over the region say, let's go to the traders coffee shop. And all of a sudden, you've got so many traders flocking in every day. Oh my God, I just heard Oliver's at the trader shop. Boom! People lined up around the block. Now, almost every day, you have to turn hundreds of people away. You either have to deal with this or expand to soak up some of the supply that you are turning away. Some of the demand you are turning away, I should say. So you go to the local bank or you go to some investors and you show them the numbers and they say, wow, this thing needs to be leveraged. The first thing we need to do is put one in every corner of this city. We let that rock for a while, and then we go county, and then we let that rock for a while, and then we go state, and then we let that rock for a while, and then we go national. When are investors willing to leverage you? After you have clearly demonstrated what? Tell me. Success. You leverage success. You leverage what is proven. You leverage what is already established. You don't leverage novices. You don't leverage the untested. You don't leverage the unskilled. You don't leverage those that have not arrived. You don't leverage that which is not proven. You leverage after something is proven. You leverage after something has proven to be a success. You leverage after something has arrived. You leverage after, not before. So when you allow a novice with zero experience to leverage himself, you are leveraging novicehood. You are not leveraging skill. You are not leveraging talent. You are not leveraging experience. You are allowing the unexperienced novice, the untrained individual, to leverage his ignorance. No. So this is why I don't buy into markets that allow leverage to anybody. You don't do it in the real world. No one leverages a novice in the real world. You leverage them when they stop being a novice. You know, the big contract comes to someone who's already a star or about to be a star, is proven already. Do you follow what I'm saying? So people think leverage is the substitute for talent. They tell me all the time, these novices tell me all the time, Oliver, anybody can do what you do with the size of your account. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, you would just lose faster and bigger, buddy. You know? That's not the substitute for talent. If size was the substitute for talent, billion-dollar firms wouldn't go out of business every week. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying. But anyway, does this make sense how I'm talking to you guys? This is real, guys. This is no fluff. This is real market talk from a 31-year experienced guy in the business. You know, you get the real thing here. So I want you to stick around, all right? We're going to make this, guys, listen, help me make this the realest, most valuable, most informative, most educative trading channel on YouTube. I need your help with that. But let's do it together. I can't do it by myself. You got to come, you got to like, you got to comment, you got to share. And don't let anybody knock this, man. I'm tired of that nonsense. You know, everyone who knocks this has something to sell to you. Remember that. When someone starts knocking this, just say, and what do you have to sell? What are you trying to sell to me? They're the only ones who knock this. The ones that want to sell you something. No, it's not Oliver. It's this. All right, come on. You know the game. I know. You're smart enough. You're smart, guys. All right, guys. Look, love you to death. I'm going to go have a cigar. All right, it's Friday. All right, I'll see some of you in my Trade the Open Like a Boss event this upcoming weekend. And if not, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'm going to try to get out another video this weekend on my YouTube channel as well. I've got one almost done. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, ciao for now, guys. Love you to death. Boom!